Ladies and gentlemen, you can ask me whatever you'd like. It could be stock related. It could be the color of my underwear, even though I hope you don't ask that question because that's kind of disturbing if that's what you want to know. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to answer any questions you'd like. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not an NBA player. I'm not an investment advisor. Um, yeah, you're pretty much agreeing to this, okay? Cool. All right. So the market has been a little bonkers. So I'm coming to you guys and I'm saying, ask me anything you want. I will answer anything you want. All right. First question, is the market fixing to drop bigly soon? I don't know. The spiders have been holding up relatively well comparatively with the Qs, meaning the S&P 500, the Dow's been holding up well comparatively to the Nasdaq, and it's just been basically directionless. I mean, if you take a look right over here, take a look at the past 2 weeks. We've been moving pretty much sideways in this range. Between 324 and 309, between the high of March 16th and the low of March 19th, we pretty much have the last 2 weeks of the Qs moving sideways. Compare that to other 10-day stretches over here where you get big up moves, even if you do get some form of a down move. So the market definitely changed. Are we setting up to drop bigly here? It's really hard to say. you know, Domestic political talk, taxes being raised on the wealthy, which is a joke because the wealthy is defined as people making over 400,000. Um, for some people, so yeah, that's a nice income, but wealthy? I mean, upper middle class for sure. Wealthy? I don't know. Is that going to hurt the market? I really don't know. There's no sign that I know of that really can historically show that a lower or a higher tax rate really, directly goes into the market. The bottom line is, are these companies have the most amazing accountants on the planet? They're probably paying, what do you think Apple pays a year to have their taxes done? What? What do you think? 50 million? 100 million? Like, what are they really paying to do their taxes? They'll find every loophole in the book. So I'm not really, I wouldn't really read into that. You want to talk about domestic political issues and whatnot. There's been a wave of headlines all over. The truth is, I almost feel like there's, the wave of headlines have been sort of not as spicy ever since, ever since Biden has taken office. They've been sort of like milk toast type headlines, so nobody really knows what's going on. It's not like you're really looking forward to an event. And then when you look, geopolitically with like missiles flying over Japan, nobody gives a shit. Nobody ever did. If you don't believe me, look at what the market did when North Korea was firing missiles over Japan before. What's happening with Russia? Nothing much. We haven't heard the word Iran in a headline in at least a few weeks. I mean, Japan, South Korea, North Korea, Russia, China. We still have to make a deal with China. COVID crisis. It's France is breaking out and getting worse while we're getting better. Nobody really, again, what has really changed that's going to spook out this market? I don't know. Because the way I see it is any down move is it almost feels like inevitable. Like if you want my overall opinion on it, it almost seems inevitable to have a certain down move in the market because that's an excuse to print trillions of dollars and say, look, the economy is weak. I always find that the funniest thing in the world, how when people come out and they're like, oh, look, the economy is weak. And I'm sitting there and I'm rolling my eyes. I'm like, whoa, what do you mean the economy is weak? Are you judging it by the price of the market? Do you really think we're weak? Oh, no, no, we're stronger than we've ever been. So what is a weak economy? Oh, jobs and this and this and this and this. But I guarantee you, the same people that we all love, that we, have huge crushes on, BFFs forever. The same people, if this market corrects 5%, 6%, 7%, they'll already be talking about the next how many trillions of dollars we need to print to save the economy. So, again, it's all a play on words. Are we going to drop big or not? I have no idea. I know I predicted a March sell-off. It, obviously really came true in the first 4 days because the Qs went from 324 to 297. I was looking for 12 to 15% drop. I mean, we got closer to what? Closer to maybe a 10% drop. So it didn't really hit the 12 to 15 as I predicted in the month of February, just so we're clear. Uh, do we come down and do we fulfill the Melnickian destiny of going down 12 to 15%? I don't know. But more importantly, I don't think you should care. I don't think you should care. When you're holding long term, people are like, oh, I'm swinging all these names at these levels. A lot of people got stuck in situations where they were buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip. And, if you're buying the dip on Tesla, I mean, you're royally made love to your hindquarters because, where does it stop? Where does the dip end? Where does it stop? I mean, do you just keep averaging down towards zero or until you run out of money? And if you run out of money and you're not green in the position, you just hold it forever. Like those situations I can't stand. I can't stand being stuck in those situations. It's common human behavior. It doesn't come from a bad place. It just comes from a place of belief in a company and believing in a company and FOMO that, maybe Tesla goes to 2000 without me and I could buy it here. That's the best answer. That's the best answer that I have. Next question. Here's the next question. We'll post them. I'll just post them for you. Here is our next question, and I'm just copying and pasting from the Newsbeat live room. Question: what was the hardest stretch of trading you've gone through, and how long did it last? Well, wow, what an effing question that is. I would have to say the hardest stretch of trading, and tell me if you feel me, people in the audience, 2003 to 2006. You with me? 2003 to 2006. I know. Some of you young, suckling virgins haven't been alive that long, and some of you have not been trading that long. So let me remind you of what 2003 to 2006 was. It was post 9/11. Here is um, it was post 9/11 and the market was just like here's a monthly of the Qs. Just to give you an example, there was a month in the Qs right here in 2003. As I said, 2003 right here. Just to give you an example, there's a month right here in the Qs where the Qs had a $2.05 range for the month. Your triple Qs. I mean, and then of course you have other $2 range and it just disgusting moves. Like there was like no action happening. It was horrible. And then, and this was till 2006 right here. So right over here, I'll just draw the line. Like that's the beginning of 2003, and that's till 2000, the beginning of 2007. So taking all 2006, beginning of 2003 to the end of 2006, that stretch of trading right there has been such bullshit. I mean, we were coming off such a high. Like I was 19 years old. I mean, I barely learned how to wipe my own ass at that point in life. And I was thinking to myself back in 99, like trading's the easiest job in the world. Like all I'm going to do is go to expensive, restaurants, hang out with women, do a great job, scalp the market like I've been doing since day one, and just make shitloads of money for the rest of my life. F college. I don't need that bullshit. Like, why do I need this? I'll just trade forever. And obviously then all of a sudden so many things changed. It went from fractions to decimals during that time. It went from SOS and SelectNet from buying from market makers to Super Montage. I shit you not. That was the name of the system. Super Montage was the dumbest system. The market didn't know what to do with itself. It was trying to find a better way to have people buy and sell securities. It was the stupidest time ever till to pretty much what we have today now. Um, that I would say has been that 3 years I would say has been the hardest stretch I've seen. I pretty much went from a seven-figure trader into a five-figure trader, just to give you a little bit of context. All right, so we have a question here from Alex. He's saying, How to develop more self-control. I want to stop eating so many carbs, but haven't been able to turn the corner or stick with it. Any tips to get through the adjustment phase of weaning off carbs? I have discipline with working out, but diet is a struggle. You see, that's really rare. You see, most people can more easily diet than work out. It's hard to work out and diet. It depends, carbs. I mean, there's tricks you can use to sort of fight carbs. Like you could get like a cauliflower bread, or is it the fact that you need to like put your food in between something, or is it or are you one of those people who will like take a slice of bread and shove it down their throat? For me, what I think of doing is if I'm trying to cut carbs out, I hear you. Have a cheat day. Have a cheat day. Carbs are going to have the biggest negative effect on your brain the day after you eat it, from when you eat it to the day after. If you're one of those people like you eat bread and you feel like there's a bowling ball within your stomach and you're like half, you know, you're half paralyzed on the couch from a food coma, your body is telling you that that's not good for you. That is not a good thing for you. That is not a good thing for you. People don't realize their bodies are always talking to them, but they never listen. You'd rather listen to, you know, you'd rather listen to the parasites in your body and the bacteria in your body that are telling you to eat the shit so they can replicate easier and feed themselves. Electronic signatures. So if you don't know what I'm saying, you're like, Mark, what the F are you talking about? All right, I'm not going to link you to reports, but what happens is the microbes in your body actually communicate. They communicate. They communicate really well, actually. And what you're actually doing is when you're cutting out the carbs, and it also works for dairy too, by the way. When you're actually cutting out your carbs, they're actually telling your body that they're hungry and they need more food. And then all of a sudden you'll be like, I really need this piece of bread right now, and you don't know why you really need it. You don't really need it, but the microbes that are trying to survive in your body really need it. Doing simple natural anti-parasitic things would help curb your appetite, like for example, cilantro. Yeah, and really, you don't have to give a shit if you like the taste or not. I don't care if you like cilantro or not. Like, hate it, eat it. Who gives a shit about your taste buds? But eating certain things, anti-parasitic foods, there's a list of them. I'm sure you could Google them. You start eating anti-parasitic foods, and all of a sudden, you're not going to want those carbs anymore naturally, and you're not going to know why. But then you're going to remember there was some crazy dude on YouTube who came to you and said, that crazy Melnick guy. He told me to do this and it's working. Try that. Next is from Zen Trader. We have a question here. Zen Trader's asking, do I like VIPS down here? Uh, define down here. Like, it dropped, sure. You had a huge drop today, and that's why it's on your radar because you sort of have you want the quick fix mentality. You want to be able to buy something and make 1,700 times your money, and that's why you're drawn to this bullshit. But it obviously has been having a phenomenal run. I'm not. When I see a move like this, maybe when I was like a newer like there are a lot of people get like naturally drawn to these things. I don't really see anything. I don't really see anything that is causing this with the name. So it just seems like a bunch of people took profits. I mean, or they know something that I don't. I mean, I see support at $31.37. To me, it's almost like you ever see the Far Side cartoon where it's like nature's way of saying do not touch? I'll see if I could There's a far side. Yeah, I found it for you. I found it for you. Watch. You ever see this one? I'll show it to you right now. This is what this stock reminds me of. You guys, the Far Side cartoon, Nature's way of saying do not touch. So basically, it's a Far Side cartoon by Gary Larson, and it says how nature says do not touch. And it shows a snake huddled in and rattling. It shows a blowfish inhaling air and extending itself. It shows a cat like with its center body all the way up, like hissing with its tail straight up. And it shows a dude with a little rubber floaty and what looks to be a rocket launcher in his hand. And it says how nature says do not touch. That's what this tells me. That's how nature says do not touch. It's dangerous, it's exciting. Anything can happen if you touch this bullshit. You want to find out how what actually happens? I don't. I don't. Brian is asking, and we're going to give Newsbeat Live members 6 more minutes to ask your questions. And by 6 minutes, I mean 5 minutes to ask questions, and then I'll get to everyone's question. Brian, how do you know what options to pick when trading? As a generalization, I go first strike out of the money on most options. That's a generalization. If I'm trading a big, thick name like a Facebook or an Apple or whatever, a lot of times I'll go first one out of the money, or if the option strike ends with the number five, maybe I'll go to a zero on a Tesla. For example, if Tesla's at $693, maybe I'll trade the $700 calls as opposed to the $695 calls. But generally, I'm on the earliest expiration first out of the money. I don't have any, it just simply works for me. It simply works for me. So that's why I do it. Mark, someday would love to hear you talk about how the algos seem to know how to foil us. Would like to hear your thoughts in that general area, algo manipulation. Well, you have to understand that these robots are designed. They are programmed by people to take advantage of everything that happens in the market. And if everything that happens in the market is based off other people's robots and other people who are not robots, like maybe manual traders like you and I, um, it's meant to take advantage of us. So how does it foil us? I mean, it's hard. It depends on the environment. In the current environment, you just have to see what's happening and react. So for me, for example, if I'm watching Facebook like I was today, I'll give you an example. I'm not really sure they know how to foil you. They're just all trying to make money and they don't give a shit about you. Would be more of my assessment of the situation. But like, we're talking like early on, like a green takes red, like a green takes red, like in a Facebook today. And you could be watching it and you could say, okay, look, you have a little scalp here, you have a little scalp right there. You have maybe a little scalp right over here that didn't work well. And a lot of these names have been going through the triggers and pulling back, through the triggers and pulling back. A lot of the names go close to the triggers, never hit pull back, go up, pull back, and like that. So I'm thinking to myself, well, how do I take advantage of this situation? I just noticed Facebook is trading like this today. So what I will do is I'll usually front run like if the trigger is at, just it's Facebook, $285.50. What I'll do is I'll say after I see it print in the 285.40s anywhere, whether it's 285.40, 41, 42, 43, 44, I'll buy in. I'll get ready to sell. If it triggers through 50, I'll sell out real quick. If it pulls down, I'll sell real quick. And what happens is you might say, well, that sounds kind of weird, right? But what happens is let's say I buy at 285.45, it triggers 285.50, it goes to 285.65. I just scalped a quick 2,000 shares. I just made 400 bucks. All right, I buy it at 285.45. It pulls down to 285.40. All right, I'll sell it out. Or it pulls down to 285.35. I'll take $100 to $200 loss. And that's what's been worked. Now, is that a disgusting piker bullshit way of trading? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like seeing nice, clean Mark 1, Mark 5 setups, know your limit setups, things that we're be making millions of dollars on recently. Yeah, I like those setups more. This environment is a directionless environment. We gap up, we pull down. We gap up, we pull down. We sell off. What are the odds we gap up tomorrow since we sold off and closed near lows? It's a directionless market. And what it does is it really frustrates anyone trying to do timing. So until I could get a better grip on the market, until the market could get a better grip on the market, I'm going to sit on my hands. So to go back to your question, we're all trying to make money. Watch what's happening and you'll pretty much know the scenario, is my thoughts. All right, that will be the last of the preguntas. No más preguntas. Well, did I really? Where? Hold on, I have to find the question. Uno momento. Okay, Chase. What a great name. All right. Melnick, I'm curious if you would expect all the old strategies to start working once the 80 EMA is above the 21 EMA on the Q in the daily. My opinion, I mean, all start working. I mean, or are you talking about like the 15 strategies I have? I think a lot more of them will start working better. Or is it better to just adapt to what's working over the past 2 days or 2 weeks? Both. Both. If you can do both. If you feel you can, you need to. This market is hard. This market is very, very difficult. I love how nobody is talking about that. Yes, I asked who's making money. A lot of people, me. That does. I'm not judging it just on the fact that we have consistent traders. I'm asking you personally. What do you want to do? Why do you have to lose a lot of money to adapt? I can't legally tell you to buy or sell a security or however you should go, but let me ask you a question to ask yourself. Why wouldn't you try, if you have over a $25,000 account and you're not under PDT, why wouldn't you try one share? Change your tier size for one share. Oh, one share? I don't know. Go ahead, do it. I'm serious. Like, who gives an F? Are you trying to adapt to get better? Or are you trying to hit a home run tomorrow? So a lot of people wait. A lot of people adapt. A lot of people do both. I mean, I can't really tell you which one you should do. Only you can answer that. But if I was in your shoes and I did want to try to adapt to the current environment for however long it might last, which nobody knows, which is a fair point. Try things, watch the markets. I notice when this happens and this happens, you can make up your own strategies. It's the easiest shit in the world. Just like that Mac guy who was like, "Oh yeah, Mark, like people have been thanking me for that VWAP strategy I've done recently on the 5 minute chart. It's working. It's just straight up working." Somebody said, "Yeah, I just made my money on Tesla today. I made my money on Tesla today, Mark. This is what I did." Watch. Tesla closed below the VWAP. They shorted through the first 5 minute candle. The stock dropped $2.65 in 5 minutes. One candle. That's it. Yes, I know it went much lower afterwards. I'm not blind. One candle. That was it. One candle. Everybody knows the rules. Hit it and quit it. Move on with life. What strategies have you been trying to adapt? Try them with one share. Again, ask yourself if you should try it with one share. Excellent question. Jeff, shouldn't gold get going here with all the inflation talk as of late? Yeah, it's the one thing that I cannot wrap my head around. Is it being manipulated by a bunch of scumbags on Wall Street? Probably is my guess. I can't explain why gold isn't 5 times higher than where it is now. It makes zero sense. It's almost like we figured out how to turn salt water into gold. That's how it's trading like right now. I don't understand it. It makes zero sense. I'm not even going to pretend I know the answer. Lloyd, how does one overcome not selling losers right away and then really holding on? Can you rephrase your question? What do you mean by, all right, well, not selling, overcoming not selling losers right away? You want to sell losers right away. Um, what I like to do is give yourself a certain amount of time. Is it 3 seconds? Is it 5 seconds? Is it 10 seconds? Is it 20 seconds? Whatever your number is, and just think of it more of a chronologically based, not a numerical base. All right, I'm buying this stock. It should work in this amount of time. If that amount of time it works or not, I'm getting rid of it. So think of it more chronologically than numerically is how I do that personally. Can't tell you how to do it, but that's my answer for myself. And then real right away, and then really holding on. So I'm saying, I guess you're asking, you're really holding on to the loser afterwards. Yeah, you're a lot of times it's many things. Some people are under PDT, they have a certain number of trades, or you have a cash account and you're holding options, and you know if you sell, you can't get back in, and you're afraid it'll go up without you, and you waited all day and all night until the next day to do this trade. I feel you. I feel you. That's why I would rather find just one stupid strategy like the VWAP strategy, which has been working for so many people. I shared it for free on YouTube. It's been changing a lot. Read the comments in there. I've been getting people reaching out to me regarding it as well. Read the comments. Like people like, holy shit, first time in my life I'm consecutively green. People are not used to that feeling. It feels weird to them. So I don't know why you're selling your losers. Everybody has a unique scenario, but those are some of the reasons why people hold. Try to give yourself a chronological stop. Um, Geronimo, Geronimo wants to ask boxers or briefs. All of the above. Boxer briefs. Tommy John for life. All right. Thank you, Praveen. Can I help you trade spider or call puts tomorrow? If by help you mean share with you algorithmic levels and try to call bottoms and look for certain strategies, sure, why not? All right. Cliff, what's the slowest week in the year where you can take a week off? You're trying to move to Las Vegas. I would say the last week of August. Ben, if a train leaves Chicago traveling at 95 miles an hour and it's trying to crash into Yankee Stadium, never mind. Next question. I'm from New York. I have nothing against the Yankees. The Mets are just a better team. Wonder how Ja Rule is trading in this environment. Ja Rule is one of the most experienced investors in this environment. I know. He has that like raspy voice. I got a lot of things I need to explain. Great rapper. I wouldn't take investment advice from Ja Rule, but don't tell that to CNBC. Ray, what's a good take-in percentage on a day on average? There's no answer for that. If you're making $10,000 a day and you have a $2 million account, do you suck? Or is it you need to have a $5,000 account and make 100 a day and that means you're a better trader? Here's the point I'm making. It depends because there's only a certain amount of money where you could throw percentage-wise for options gains versus stock gains, and not a lot of things scale that way. There's no good answer for that. Depends on where you are and depends on what you're doing. I mean, you want to ask CNBC, they'll tell you if you make 12% a year that you're gold. So you make 0.04% per day and you're great. And obviously, I don't agree with that, but all right. How come the tax brackets stop at 400K? because I made up the rules and that's what I decided. I have no idea. What are they doing? You know, smoking is there around. Maybe they're hanging out with Elon Musk. It's like, here, Elon. I'm like, we can make it for 1 million, but maybe we should do 400,000. I have no idea why they made the cutoff there. So right now I'm taking questions in the room only. In the future, I want to start doing questions for you guys on YouTube as well. Can I get a F yes if you want me to answer questions on YouTube for you guys? Let me know how you feel. Right now I'm doing it in the room, but in the future I'd like to do it like that. I have to set it up. I don't have the right setup for it right now, but I can. Um, uh, Mark, I've noticed some of the more successful traders are buying long expiration, sometimes out of the money options to play a trade. Where can I learn more about how to do that? I mean, I don't know what you mean by that. That is vague. So you're basically saying some of the more, I don't understand what you mean by more successful traders. I mean, we have swingers who are millionaires and scalpers who are millionaires. So it's like, so you're basically asking, where can I learn how to swing options long out of the money for a long amount of time? I think that's what you're asking. I mean, they're not going to really be giving you lessons. I can encourage people to share what they are personally doing and looking at, and then you can make your own decision at the end of the day. Hey, Mark. Melnick, I had to restart. Couldn't ask my question. XBI bottom and entry, please. I can't tell you where to enter. I can't tell you exactly where the bottom is, but I gave you it right here today, right over there, right? Didn't I give you this level? Look at that. Beautiful. So it either already bottomed or tomorrow's algorithmic support is way far away at 119.84. And again, I can't legally tell you where to enter. That's just where I find algo support. That's where I would look for a potential bottom. What is the best indicator? What is the best indicator or setting on Thinkorswim to find good stocks? I don't use Thinkorswim, so I really don't know. I doubt it, Rob. I doubt this bullshit. So Rob is saying, "Holy shit, this bullshit trading in the market could last 3 years." I highly doubt that. I'll explain. And actually, it's not a question, but it's an excellent point, Rob. And I actually want to address that right now. I don't think this is going to happen like that because we're in an environment where we're just literally printing money. We've never really done it ever back then when the market was choppy. I mean, we've never really just said, screw it, we're going to print money. I mean, it happened, the first major time it happened was TARP. And I think that was Bush Jr. under TARP. It continued into Obama. And then the market just started rallying as we just literally bailed out all these financial institutions. And then, you know, kept going on. Under COVID, with early COVID, we're talking like February to March 2020, and then we just started printing trillions of dollars. Late Trump era, we started printing trillions of dollars, and now we're in early Biden era, and I don't see any signs of that stopping. We printed 1.9 trillion so far, and I think there's going to be I'll put it this way, and this is not political because, you know, no need to even go there. I really don't give a shit what you think politically. I'll tell you what I think marketly when entwined in the politics. I would I highly doubt we're going to be printing less than. Here's the point. You know what I realized? Under most presidents, the deficit always goes up, no matter who you are. It always gets worse. And I always find it funny over my last 30 years when like politicians are like, "Oh yeah, I'm worried about the deficit." It's like, "Shut the F up. You are not worried about shit." Because no matter who it is from your party or someone else, the deficit always goes up. So it's like, yeah, shut up. Just shut the F up. Stop posturing. Um, I would be surprised if we printed less than $15 trillion over the next 3 years and X amount of months for this presidency. I'd be surprised. Anything can happen. I'd be surprised. I think we're going to go through hyperinflationary period for the U.S. version of hyperinflation. Not like, oh, Melnick thinks it's going to be like the Zimbabwe dollar where they have a $300 trillion bill. No, I don't. I'm not saying that. But in terms of what the U.S. goes from, I think we're going to be. There's no other way about it. When you want to create something, it costs money with no return. When you create anything, you build a house, it costs you money. Yeah, eventually you sell it, people pay rent, whatever. All right, fine, you make money afterwards. But I mean, if we jump in the Paris Accord and we start really trying to abide by this Paris Accord, I mean, that's going to be the most expensive project, you know, the United States of America has ever taken on. We're talking tax credits for companies probably like Tesla, in my opinion, my due diligence, solar energy, wind energy, things like that. I mean, there's push against meat, which I don't think they're going to do well on. Certain things I don't think are going to be able to push through, like they're going to try to, you know, push, don't like lab grown meat. So like it's funny right now. So you had like the plant-based meat and the real mooing cow, and now they're trying to like meet it halfway in between. We will give you your cow protein, but it was grown from a once living cow and their protein, and it's like, okay. Um, I don't know how big that's going to come in the future, but here's the point. Here, going back to your question, what am I getting at? This BS is not going to last 3 years. It won't, in my opinion, because we're just going to be printing too much money. I mean, if we print $15 trillion, if we print $10 trillion, you have to understand how much money that is. I mean, it's hard for people to wrap their head around what $10 trillion actually is. It's 10,000 billion. So just to show you, just to give you a little view, that's $1 million. Do you want to know what 10 trillion looks like? 10 million, 10 billion, 10 trillion. And again, you print a number like that, you create $10 trillion out of thin air. Let's say, and I think it's going to be way more than that, just so we're clear. I'm using like joking levels of like obviousness in my head. If you're going to print $10 trillion, how does Tesla go down from here? How do the Qs go down from here? So you're printing $10 trillion. It's eventually somebody's going to have to take that money eventually. What are they going to do with it? Most people, when they come across wealth, they invest either in crypto and collectibles in the market, mostly the market, vaccines, people are going to go back to jobs, everybody's going to want a 401k, people are going to be incentivized with 401ks, 401ks go in the market, all these trillions of dollars. You are literally, it goes back to a simple point. If and I don't think it's going to inflate this quickly, so I'm just using this for example purpose. If your $3 a gallon milk costs $6 tomorrow, why wouldn't your $600 Tesla per share cost $1,200 per share or more? That is the point I'm making. Okay. Um, all right. Let's see. All right. Let's get to the next question. So yeah, I definitely don't think this is lasting 3 years. Okay, my opinion. The Mark one is overall still my best earner. However, it is a big loser over the past 2 weeks. So should I just end it? What is the window I should look back for this? Again, what I would do is I can't tell you what to do. What I would do is I would just do a bunch of strategies, tear down for one share, just to see it work. Hit in, hit out, get comfortable entering and exiting, get sort of that rhythm going. And once you're able to do that comfortably, and it is whatever you figure out on a 2 minute chart, on a 5 minute chart, on a this strategy, record your results. You do that. That is the easiest way to get out of a funk. Melnick, I noticed several times today on the green takes red strategy and the one on Facebook you called our attention to when the last red candle bar was at a higher volume than the previous two red bars. Is that a change to the strategy or just something that was ignored? Um, I didn't notice that. It might be something good that you noticed. If there was a volume shift within one of the strategies I use, so I'm not 100% sure. It's a great question. Point it out to me in real time when I do that tomorrow. Mark, I had a $50,000 account. I made $30,000 swing trading over December to February 24th and lost 35,000. I need the markets to pick a direction. Should swing trades not be done in just day trade? Again, I can't legally tell you to swing trade or day trade, but here's my thoughts. Here's my thoughts. Yeah, when the market made a run like this, everybody was doing well, not just swing traders, day traders, scalpers. Everything was going perfect. People were making, so many people reached out to me, millions and millions of dollars people were making as individuals. It was a beautiful thing. And then after February 24th, of course, we had this where pretty much and it's funny that you say February 24th because it's a very important day. And you might say, well, what's important about February 24th? Why did you choose that day? Well, February 24th was the last day where the exponential 8 on the daily was above the 21. This yellow line, I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you on the one chart. It's kind of crazy, and I'll show you why it's important, and I'll show you why I think this is going to change the way you trade. So I'm just going to add an exponential 8 average on the daily, and then I'm just going to add an exponential 21. We're going to edit it right here. We're going to put it in right here. I'm going to show you. So right over here, you see this yellow and blue line? I want the yellow above the blue line. It hasn't been like that. The last time it was like that is like the gentleman's question or statement that it's February 24th. Now, before then, it was like that on November 5th. So from November 5th to February 24th, at all moments, the exponential 8 was above the 21. That entire time. And if you look back, I guarantee you your trading was shitty swing wise right over here. and from October 28th to November 3rd. And then all of a sudden picked up on November 4th, almost like, or November 5th, like miraculously. That's how it is. That's how it is. And remember, the 8 can remain above the 21 for a long time. Like you look at a stretch over here from April 8th. It lasted from April 8th all the way to September 10th, where the 8 was above the 21 every single day from April 8th to November. I mean, we're talking months and months and months. So this is not some crazy gets good, gets bad, gets good. But no, you have runs where it's like this. So right now, if you look, the 8 is below the 21, and that is why I think people are having issues. But again, that's not to say it doesn't get above and below again. Like, anything can happen. I can't tell you if you should swing or just day trade. I obviously a lot of people lost money swinging. That's what happens when the market drops. Should you day trade or swing? I think both are. Both. I think they're either both easy or both difficult at any given moment. So I can't really tell you which one is better for you at this point. But I can tell you when I think it'll change. Um, I'm not sure what your question means, Hope, my brother. Well, I call them piker trades in a very endearing way. I call them piker trades to make light of it. It's not bad being a piker. I think it's a good thing. I think it's much more worse to try to be Rambo in an environment that's not conducive for it. So I say it endearingly, Jeff. It's the only way I'm making money now myself, so I'm with you. Um, I can't. I mean, Uncle Paul saying help lower my commissions. Sure, try negotiating with whatever brokerage you're with to lower your commissions. Threaten them to leave if they won't, and consider leaving if they don't. Hi, Abby. Abby is asking any good indicator or scanner I recommend. TC2000, I think, has great scanning capabilities for whatever you want. I don't know how to program all of them, but there's ways to learn. Mark, I bought 6 call options in Ford yesterday. On the market open, the stock shot up fast. While I was trying to sell it, it had fallen 10 points. Huh? You mean 10 cents? What strategy can I use to get out of the option calls contract quicker before it falls? I think the answer is to just do a quick market sell. I mean, that's the only real guaranteed way to do it, unless you put in like a limit order below the bid is a likely way to do it. I mean, I can't tell you what to do, but yeah, marketing out is how I personally get rid of trade when I need it. Is that your mark, Eddie? Is that how you perform on the Mark One? It's quite a chart. Oh, look, he has his own chart for how he performs on the Mark 1. Bam. Nice strategy, bro. Wow. Pretty impressive. Um, Soylent Green. It's funny. Um, I like my headset, Eddie, because it's light. Don't underestimate. So many people, the key with a headset is you want it to be light. I bought like a bunch of these headsets off of Amazon in case they break. It's the Cloud 2. Um, it's HyperX Cloud 2, HyperX, wired. They're light, they're comfortable, very important. hmm Yeah, so somebody's showing what $1 trillion looks like. Yeah, this is one of my, I've seen this picture before. Basically, those are $100 bills, just so we're clear. That's what $1 trillion looks like. Imagine that. Those are $100 bills. And by the way, in case you can't see, and just in case you can't like see it here, that's a person. That's a person right there inside there. So it's infinite amounts of money as far as anybody is concerned. You couldn't spend it if you tried in a year. Trust me. I don't care what you buy. What are you going to buy? How many you could buy every island in the world that's for sale. Like you wouldn't be able to do it. You'd have to go to like every company and offer them hostile takeovers. It would just be. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could do it because well, I could spend it, Mark. I would offer to buy somebody's house for $1 trillion and they would do it. I mean, you could just. It's uh, it's obscene the amount of money that is $1 trillion. Um, okay, Abby with a follow-up question. Mark, this whole money printing will recover soon. Does this money printing will impact the job market? Yeah, it'll help the job market because when you print money and you give it to people to keep employees, they have more money, they could hire more employees, etc. I mean, it depends what you mean by recover. Our debt is going to balloon through the ceiling. We're not going to recover there from this. We're going to get devastated there, but the economy will do good. Do well. Mark, are there any signals like the 8 over 21 that works for shorts, 8 below 21 equals chop everyone up? What's the signal that it's picked for a down direction for a period of time? I don't know. I think the shorts have been very hard in this market. I think the longs have been easier, but not easy. That's the best way I could do it. No doubt, Dave. I'll make another course soon. Oh, it's M1 money supply, Eddie. Um, So a lot of the street smart edge issues, yes. So I found, in my opinion, street smart edge is better for options than Fidelity, and Fidelity is better for stock than street smart edge. That is my opinion. It does happen a lot, brother. I feel you. All right. So it was a cute little Q&A. I would definitely in the future like to get to you guys watching um, I would like to definitely get to you guys watching your questions and get to your questions for everyone watching here. But let me know your feelings on these episodes. Do you like these episodes? Do you want to see more of them? Are there any episodes in which you would like to see in particular? Just kindly let me know. From the bottom of my heart, I hope you guys enjoyed this Newsbeat show tonight. Happy trading, make money. Oh, I didn't pitch you about my room. I won't.